You're watching MTV. At 6, it's Teen Mom. At 7, it's Teen Wolf. And at 8, it's Teen Wolf Mom. But first, it's time for an all-new Hook a Hunk.
You're watching Disney Minus, the movies Disney doesn't really promote as much. We now return to The Princess and the Frog.
You're watching the Game Show Network. At 5, it's Gimme Gimme Da Money, Please Please, I Want Da Money Please. But first, it's time.
You're watching Lifetime, television for women, white women. And now from the creators of Lifetime original movies like What Did Becky See? And Where Does Brenda Go at Night? Comes the first ever Lifetime original game show. It's time to play... And here's
GSN's Retro Night continues at 9 with a 1971 episode of Name That Tune, followed by a 1953 episode of Guess Her Weight. But up next, a 1998 episode of Hollywood Square.
You're watching the Disney Channel. We now return to the 1992 Aladdin, when Aladdin was still white. You're watching the Game Show Network. At 10, it's White Jeopardy. But up now, it's Match Finder. You're watching C-SPAN. Can you believe it stands for Cocker Spaniel? We're now returning to the...
And now it's time for Cooking with Paul. Paul Montaigne is a James Beard award-winning chef and a 3 times convicted sex offender.
You're watching the History Channel. At 8, it's World War I. At 9, it's World War II, lost in New York. But now we return to the Hidden Tales of Egypt.
You're watching MTV. At 9, it's 3 straight days of ridiculousness. But first, an all-new ridiculousness.
You're watching True TV, real-life shows that make you feel bad. Coming up at 9, Forensic Files. But first, the all-new reality series. So you committed a crime, and you think you can dance? You're watching Paramount Plus. We thought of the Plus thing before Disney. We now return...
You're watching MTV Spring Break Live at Miami Beach, where the party don't stop until the government-mandated curfew. Next up, it's...
You're watching HLN, Headline News. Headline counts for 2 letters.
You're watching PBS, you little smarty you. Next, it's the sweetest show Americans are falling in love with, The Great British Bake Off.
You're watching the Game Show Network. Remember how Richard Dawson would kiss entire families? Well, you do now. But first, you're watching KCR News, in case you are wondering. And now, you're watching the Sci-Fi Channel. Why? We now return to the conclusion of Cinderella on Disney+, which doesn't have commercials, so I guess you just paused it. You're watching Newsmax Kids. At 1, it's White Power Rangers. But first, it's Ted Cruz Street. You're watching MNN, Manhattan Public Access. At 2 p.m., it's What's That Puddle? At 1 p.m., it's Inside the Actors Studio Apartment, where we now go live to John Jay Park.